now we're going to get to the Adam Ross and the Stop Killing Games initiative and new stuff that has just come out about it. That is basically a load of crap on behalf of the lobbyists. They don't have a clue what they're talking about here. Oh boy, this video is going to be good.
Hey, you know that saying, it's not paranoia if they really are out to get you? Well, I have another video I do not want to make, but I probably should. And this one is newsworthy, especially for...
And it's a doozy. It's hilarious. I've seen a lot of stupid things said by lobbyists, but most of it's kept on the up and up, just them trying to push along their own narrative. But oh my God, whoever did this to him and posted this anonymous so-called report that they're claiming is true is so full of BS. It's just not funny, man. It's not funny.
For me, I have behind-the-scenes news on the Stop Killing Games campaign. Okay, a quick refresher because I know this gets confusing. I founded the Stop Killing Games movement to challenge the legality of publishers destroying games which you've paid for. This has involved a lot of things which I've shown in slides before, and that includes assisting with the European Citizens Initiative, which is the biggest thing going on with it right now. However, I am actually not the founder of the European Citizens Initiative. That would be a group of volunteers whom I'm in touch with. I'm ineligible to have an official role in the initiative. I'm just a major promoter of it.
Yeah, he can't be an official because of living in the US. And this is done in Europe.
It's always been something separate. That's part of why it's called the Stop Destroying Video Games Initiative instead of the Stop Killing Games movement. So with that in mind, it was recently shared with me that the Stop Destroying Video Games Initiative has received a serious accusation from an anonymous source. The EU Commission relayed a complaint of it committing 2 violations. Yikes! Of false no funding declaration and systematic concealment of major contributions. This declaration appears fundamentally incorrect based on publicly documented evidence of substantial undisclosed professional contributions to the campaign. Well, this is all news to me, but I don't know everything that's going on with the initiative. What's this about? Oh, it's about me! I'm the evidence, everyone! What do we have here? A quote there.
Oh man. You can't really do anybody justice when it comes to this.
It's been many weeks on the campaign where I've been working 12 to 14 hours a day to keep things moving to get signatures. Damn straight I have. That is true. I've been running a rickshaw carrying people to the destination. Yes, I did say those words. It's unclear to me if the accuser thinks I've literally been running a rickshaw service.
I don't do that stuff.
And you know what? I'm not going to tell them. They can guess that for themselves. They're doing a lot of guessing in this. You'll see. Media interviews identifying me as handling the standard day-to-day work of running the Stop Killing Games initiative and described as the primary strategic decision maker and public spokesperson throughout the campaign. Okay, this is reaching. Since I apparently need to spell it out, when I say the initiative will do this or will do that, that's me assuming the initiative members are on board with what I'm saying and me taking my best guess. I've even said before on video, the initiative members are not a hive mind. They can disagree with each other, including me. They certainly listen to my input, but the decision on literally everything about the initiative is theirs. If I don't like something but they do, then I just have to deal with it. I have no actual authority. Nobody in the initiative takes orders from me. But get ready, because here comes the clown accounting. 15 to 20 weeks of 12 to 14 hour days. That's interesting that they call this a conservative estimate, because they're making these numbers up. They may as well be reading tea leaves. It's true I think I've spent that many hours a day working on this campaign. For some weeks.
He's been working on this campaign for a few years. But the funny part is, he's just doing it in his free time. That's what he's doing. It's volunteer. He doesn't get paid. He doesn't make money from it. I don't know if he has ad revenue that comes in from his videos on YouTube, but I do know that his entire channel has been, I believe, fully dedicated to Stop Killing Games. And he's been trying to push it for a while. It's thanks to Pirate Software's negative takes that were incorrect and not a proper representation of the Stop Killing Games initiative that he got all this attention for it. So like they say, negative press is some press. But to each their own.
But 15 to 20? That would have killed me. Some weeks were this high, others it was anywhere from 0 to 4 hours a day. I don't know. You know why I don't know? Because I never track my hours. Why would I? Nobody was hiring me for this.
Yeah, he doesn't get paid. I think they're accusing him of being a consultant. And he's providing his expert opinion on how they should approach this, and they think he's being paid for it. He's not.
It's all volunteer time. The only reason I said 12 to 14 is because there were plenty of days where I would wake up, work the whole time, then go to bed, minus eating, exercise, and essential chores. And those days make me batty. I hate working that much. But I am impressed that they think they know my hours better than I do. Oh, but here's the good part. Professional rate, 50 to 75 euros an hour. Yeah, maybe that would mean something if I was a professional who had a rate for anything. Minimum estimated value, 63 to 147,000 euros. Oh, yeah. Okay, this one annoys me a bit because their low end, 63,000 euros, is more money I've made in any year in my entire life.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And I like where I gotta pause. Look at this. Look at this. Right here. Right here. This should be a meme. The new Adam Ross meme right here.
Though, hey, I'm sure all kinds of people are worth more if they make up numbers about how much they should be getting paid from imaginary sources.
From imaginary.
They're saying my volunteer work is worth that much, so by not reporting it, it's violating Article 17, yada yada. Their supporting evidence is media treating me as though I'm the leader, and me saying I've worked a lot on this. Well, it's true, I have worked a lot on this. But I must have said publicly that I'm ineligible to join the initiative at least 50 times. And this may surprise the accuser, but sometimes game journalists get details wrong when reporting on something. 12 to 14 hour day commitment during many weeks far exceeds any reasonable volunteer threshold. Yes, true, they're right about that. That isn't reasonable at all. I've hated this crap and I can't wait to work less on the campaign. It's only my perception that this is my one chance to fix the problem of destroying games that's pushed me this hard. But I have my limits, guys.
They're basically saying you shouldn't be allowed to volunteer 12 to 14 hours. I mean, the funny thing is they're accusing him of making money or being paid by the commission. And here's the kicker. They're saying 12 to 14 hours day commitment during many weeks far exceeds any reasonable volunteer threshold. Who has the right to tell someone what they're allowed to volunteer and what they're not? Nobody does. He can volunteer for 24 hours if he darn well feels like it. These guys, this whole thing looks professional, but it's ugly.
Professional time investment constitutes quantifiable in-kind contribution under transparency regulations. I guess good thing I'm not a professional then. Well, this is a very serious accusation. And it sounds like I should have logged my hours and made up hourly rates like my accuser did, huh? But wait, here's a thought. Why don't we check what the European Union's rules actually are? Who is considered a sponsor? Sponsors are people or organizations providing financial support over 500 euros. Okay, well, I've spent 0 euros on the initiative, just a crapload of time, so that's not me. Legal persons or organizations providing other economically quantifiable in-kind donations or non-economically quantifiable support to an initiative are also considered sponsors. Well, I've been advised I'm not a legal person, I'm a natural person. That sounds right. And I certainly wasn't representing an official organization. I mean, I haven't signed one form with Stop Killing Games on it, or for the initiative for that matter. Individuals providing non-financial support, such as volunteering, are not considered sponsors under the ECI regulation and do not need to be reported.
That's the key word there. It's all volunteer, his choice. They're going to start putting laws up that make it so if you volunteer, it's excessive and it's not allowed. That's just silly.
Oh, what's that? That description, which is exactly what I've been doing? So the EU says the initiative has been following the rules this entire time? But what about this anonymous accuser saying the EU doesn't know its own rules? Is there a hidden clause here? Like you're not a sponsor unless you work really hard? So let's get this straight. We've got an anonymous complaint saying the initiative is violating EU law. I'm apparently in charge of the initiative despite being ineligible to even join it, hence why my name is not on here. The accuser is making up how many hours I've worked on this and are making up imaginary money amounts I've supposedly donated in kind, and their claims directly contradict the EU's own laws on this. And hey, plot twist, there's something I didn't tell you. The official organizers literally asked EU representatives if it was okay for me to assist them in the capacity I have been back in spring of 2024.
A year ago.
Just to make sure everything was above board in case there was a problem or we needed to report anything. They said what I've been doing is fine. We've been doing this by the book, guys. So where did this complaint come from? Well, we'll never know. It's anonymous. But let me ask you, does anyone think this is just some concerned citizen acting independently here? I mean, pretend all of these accusations were true. Would that end the initiative? Maybe. I don't know. Someone was gunning for us. This is a shot across the bow. Now again, this complaint is anonymous, so I'm not accusing anyone. I don't know who wrote it. But I'll just say the timing of this is awfully hot on the heels of an industry lobby group giving some very bad statements about the movement. In some cases, I think outright lying about it.
It's crazy to me, lobbyists who pay politicians to fight against a bill, but the amount of money they're giving them will never be made up in terms of what they're getting back from stopping something. It always throws me off that they do stuff like that, because I'll never understand the point behind lobbying behind certain things.
But I don't know if it was them. Maybe it was a different lobbying group. Or maybe it was just some political hatchet man hired by the industry. But someone was trying to kill the initiative. Filing paperwork to the European Union accusing the initiative and myself of violating the rules, maybe even committing a crime, I'm not sure, that's no small thing. This is the industry playing dirty now. It reminds me of Battleship. They took a shot hoping my battleship was here when it was actually here. So they missed, but I sure felt the splash. So why am I telling you all this? Well, this has me a little worried. I mean, this complaint doesn't scare me. We followed the rules and they made up the charges. I mean, hell, if they hadn't put appears...
I mean, this is what they do, though. They make up things and then post it. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is slander against Adam Ross. It does count as slander. They're accusing him of something he didn't do and putting out information that is in bad faith. Like, you don't have a more clear-cut sign of slander than you do with something like that. And he, if he wanted to, I doubt he would, but he could sue and be like H3H3 and get access to the anonymous tipper and get him for it because it's a false statement. It's not true. It's a lie, and he's being falsely falsely accused of something he has not done. The only thing he's done is log tons of hours freely and voluntarily without being paid. Now, I don't know if he's being paid through ad revenue. I have no idea because I have something on here that prevents me from ever having to deal with that.
Fundamentally incorrect. This might have been borderline libel against me. But the fact that first we have the industry lobbying against us, then we're getting this attempted shot at us behind closed doors, makes me concerned about what's coming next. I mean, I haven't done anything shady that I'm aware of, but maybe that doesn't matter. If they can't find a real angle on us, maybe they'll make more things up. Maybe serious things. At the rate we're going, I'm expecting the next news to be a Photoshop of me in a parking garage doing a handoff with a briefcase full of money. Now, what I've been told is if the industry can't kill the initiative, the next step is to throw so much dirt on us, members of parliament start getting scared to support it. So just because this is only the second shot at us, that doesn't mean there aren't 20 more shots coming behind it. And I'm again reminded of how stupid this whole thing is when you consider what a comparatively low cost an end-of-life plan is. I bet whatever companies are spending on lobbying against us is more than it would cost them to have end-of-life plans for their games.
I want to be clear. Here's my thoughts on the end of life that these game developers and publishers can do. First, let's go with the logic. They decide to shut down the game and stop running it. Okay. They're well within their rights. However, they're not making any more money from it. Therefore, releasing an end-of-life service would do them no harm because they are not liable or responsible for what people do with the game code once it's provided, allowing modders or other programmers to maintain it. Now, if they open private servers and start making money off it, oh well, you chose to give up the game and you didn't want to do that. However, if they want to avoid the private servers and people trying to make money off the game from other people's sources, because the company's not happy with it for one of two reasons. Oh, one sec, phone. Just my mom sending me her information with her new phone number. All right. Anyhow, back to this. My opinion on this. They're stop killing games. They can create an end-of-life service where they say we're not responsible for anything that happens to you while in use of this game or damage it may cause. And they could easily just put that in. And that would solve all their problems. They wouldn't have any issues then. But they don't want to do that because if they're not the ones making money off it, they don't want anyone else to. That's the thing. Because it's weird to me that they choose to stop supporting it. But then when people try to create private servers for it, then they start suing them all up the wazoo. But you're the ones who chose to stop supporting it and you took it down. Why is it that people aren't allowed to just have it after they've already bought it? Now, I don't believe MMOs should have an end-of-life game unless you paid for them outright. I mean, literally paid $69.99 for access to an MMO. If it's a free-to-play MMO, then no, it shouldn't be part of the end-of-life thing. That would make a lot of companies upset because that'd be a loophole they could exploit, but fun fact, it'd be funny to watch because they make no money off it in the beginning. Laugh at you, Ubisoft.
Especially in the future. Hell, I think a lot of end-of-life plans for games will be less than those imaginary euros I'm not being paid. But I don't know what's coming next, and it could get a lot worse than this. Who knows? I am so out of my league on this. I have never been a political target before, so this is all uncharted territory for me. Have you ever played a game that's getting harder and harder, and you can still keep up with it in the moment, but you're starting to think at the rate it's going, you're not sure if you can handle it in a level or two? That's kind of the vibe I have right now. And for those of you who think I'm being paranoid, Did you hear about that retro gaming YouTuber who was arrested for reviewing modded handheld consoles? Oh, yeah! That doesn't hit close to home for me at all.
Hang on, what is this? Forget copyright strikes. A retro gaming YouTuber faces possible jail time for reviewing gaming handhelds. You're kidding me. Oh, well, if it was emulation, that doesn't shock me, but I'd have to see the whole video to know what's going on. I have no idea. I don't think you can get arrested for reviewing gaming handhelds. I know you can get sued because there was a guy who got sued. There was two guys that got sued. One of them's a lockpicker, professional lockpicker on YouTube. He got sued by a company who told him that we don't think you can unlock our lock. And he proceeded to, all right, I'll accept that challenge. And he opened it up with a piece of a pop can. He got it open. And then, because of all the views and negative publicity that the company got because of it, they proceeded to sue him for damage, intellectual damage to property. They literally are suing him for that. I don't know how it's going, but I know they probably don't have a case. It just looks really bad for them. And then there's another guy. Oh, what was he doing? There's another guy who got sued. I forget what it was, because there was a guy for the lockpicks, and there was another guy who got sued for something else. But, oh, wait, was that it? Nah, I can't remember. If I remember, I'll bring it up.
I mean, I don't have any handhelds, so I guess I'm safe there. But what about abandonware? If I play an emulated Commodore 64 game, are they going to send the cops to my place as step 5? Gotta love the games industry. But as of this moment, I still feel free to speak my mind, so I better make use of it. Here's the thing. The video games industry is worth billions. If they really want to smear me or the initiative, they'll find a way to do it. We're lucky their attempts have been so bumbling so far. I mean,
Bumbling
I
would be an
just showed you how
understatement.
these claims are false because they're lying about how the law defines my actions. Video Games Europe was almost certainly lying about this claim, and it was irrelevant. Almost certainly lying about their liability here. They were either so obtuse they couldn't understand what we're asking for when it's spelled out for them, or they're lying about not understanding it. Take your pick. Oh, and this claim. This one is a bit clever because it can't be disproven. You could say this about anything. Like, I could say it's prohibitively expensive for me to make a paper airplane. And you might say, what are you talking about? A piece of paper costs what, 2 cents? And I could say, yeah, but that would curtail my choice. Because I want to make my paper airplane out of the Magna Carta, and that's priceless. Thus, it's prohibitively expensive for me to make a paper airplane. I guarantee you that's the kind of logic they're using here if you were to really dig into the details. Oh, and let's let everyone know this lobby group isn't even representing its members that well. BeamNG says they weren't consulted by Video Games Europe and disagree with their statement and behavior.
There's a few representatives that have come out in response to the group that's supposed to sponsor, they're sponsored by, but they didn't go to them first to discuss anything. When you represent like 12 companies, they have to be brought into the loop to know what's going on. Like, what is it that you're posting that people are saying that we said?
Even Epic Games, yeah, that small company, you probably haven't heard of them, has come out saying that they're currently non-committal on this. So Video Games Europe wasn't representing them in their statement either. So if they're not even consulting their members, who the hell are they representing exactly? Okay, some news as I'm editing. Ubisoft has responded to stop killing games. I was not expecting that. It's a lot of misdirection.
Alright, support for all games cannot last forever. We're not asking you to support the game. Just release the code and let people, modders, programmers, maintain it. It's not a hard thing. They've done it for Minecraft, and that's still going on, but there's hundreds of private servers. You've got Roblox with private servers. You've got Ark Survival with private servers. I mean, all these, there's a lot of games that have private servers, so it shouldn't be an issue if they don't want to support it anymore. Just hand it over to us and we'll take it from there.
Try and speedrun this. Okay, this is irrelevant. We're aware of your terms. It's not yet determined if they're legal or not. This is also irrelevant. This part is true. This is a widespread problem in the industry. The only thing unique to Ubisoft is they're trying to get away with this crap as a French company. Okay, even the EU Commission wouldn't commit as to whether these types of games are services or not when asked. So he can call these games services, but legally they might not be. Services tell you when they end. And the endless support argument. Okay, I'm undecided. If this was a senior developer saying this, I would 100% call this misdirection. I mean, hey, this looks awfully similar to that comment from Video Games Europe about endless support. This could be the industry's new playbook. If
they keep throwing that playbook out, why? It's already been disproven. We're not telling you to support the game. We're not. You just have to provide an archive of the code for people to maintain the actual game. It's not a hard thing to do. It's not. This is not asking you to break your backs.
If they can pretend to not understand what we're asking for over and over again, maybe they're hoping that will change the narrative. However, this is a CEO saying this, so maybe he really doesn't know how these games work. Hey, if so, he wouldn't be the first CEO to not understand how his company's products work. So I can't tell if he's just trying to gaslight everyone, or if he just doesn't know how these games are made, so
I don't think that half the CEOs have any idea what to do. A CEO is not brought in to understand what it is they're selling. They're brought in to keep the company rolling. So the majority of CEOs are just, I believe, this is me, that a CEO is a gigantic consultant. A guy who comes in and just provides you with capable administration of the company. That's it. They don't have to know what the company's about. They don't have to know what the company's design is. They don't have to know what the company's purpose is. They just come in there and they run it. That's it. And a lot of people will blow back and say, well, they're not going to hire someone with no experience. Really? You think so? What about Bobby Kotick for Activision Blizzard? Dude had no experience when it came to actual game development. And the guy made terrible choices that cream pied and destroyed games. And he was once said on record saying he believes employees shouldn't have unions or rights. Not those exact words, but I'm just cliff notes here. Like, I'm sorry. CEOs don't know half the crap that they're doing. There's a few who have an idea, like Sven for Larian, or Miyazaki from software. Both of them were programmers first, developers second, and then they became the president or CEOs of their respective companies. But you see how successful they've been by sticking to what they're good at, because they have someone at the helm who knows what the company's about. But if you put someone there who has no idea, has never been with the company ever, and is hired outside of it, that ends up turning it and flipping it upside down. This is what happens. It happens to probably 99.9% of big corporations with these CEOs. They just come in, they have no idea what the company's actually about. They give you a surface level explanation when they're in the interview, and then they get hired by the board or by the original owners to be the face. It's just what they do. They don't understand what the thing's about. You can see it. It's in every major developer across all of gaming. You can see it. They don't understand because they didn't work within the company to get up to that point. Sven, before Larian was Larian, worked in it to get to that point. I mean, Miyazaki's a damn good example. That dude was developing games with From Software for years before he ever sat at the seat as the president. There is just too much with CEOs and companies. And I still don't blame the entire developer and the publisher themselves for their ownership or their board of directors. I blame the CEOs that they bring in who have a surface level idea of what the company's actually about and then turns it into a money-making machine that loses its original identity.
Thinks they would need endless support. I kind of hope he actually doesn't know. Anyway, the point here is there's a lot of lying and shady stuff going on from the games industry against Stop Killing Games. And I guess now, me too. So if these attempts to shoot down the initiative keep happening, maybe assume the industry, which has been shown to be lying repeatedly, is lying again.
Excuse me.
And the whole point of their accusations is to make you forget the real issue, which is consumers are getting robbed by the industry. There are nuances to it, but the basic message is when you buy a copy of a game, you should get to keep it, and publishers shouldn't be able to destroy what you already paid for. This concept is so basic, it's still a joke we even have to fight for this. So don't let the industry throw you off the scent, especially in the future. If something doesn't pass the smell test, push back. I say this because things could heat up so much that maybe in the future I'm not at liberty to give commentary or defend myself like this. I've managed to get in touch with a few political insiders that know more about how these attacks work than I do. I intend to follow their advice. Right now, my plans haven't changed at all. But if I just go really quiet on some topics in the future, then I'm telling you why right now. It will be because the attacks are getting so serious that me saying anything might be a liability somehow. I mean, remember, this was behind the scenes. The industry didn't make this one public. So who knows what the next thing they're planning is. Now, hopefully, I'm overreacting and the industry won't keep escalating this. This was just them taking a couple pot shots at us, but I'm trying to prepare for a lot of scenarios. I mean, I knew there was a chance of something like this happening back when I launched the campaign last year. That's one of the many reasons I never wanted to do this. At least this is just me trying to get the most bare minimum common sense regulation in the games industry, and not trying to be a whistleblower on the defense industry. That would be bad.
Tell that to War Thunder. The amount of crap that they've gotten.
Okay, to end this on a lighter note, despite all this mess, we've been getting more and more support from European members of parliament. Here are some I've been informed of, though some of these I'm pretty late finding out. Marketa Gregorova's was from last year actually, and had cool promotional art and everything. That's what, 4-bit color? But the big one is Nikolai Stefanuta, a vice president of European Parliament, throwing his weight behind the initiative and saying he signed it himself. Okay, I'm the wrong person to judge social media effectiveness, but 85,000 likes on Twitter would sound like a good day to me if I was a politician. This is what I mean about easy wins for politicians, guys.
Easy
Keeping
wins.
it real, most people don't care about video games either way. So this is pretty safe politically. But for the people who do, Stop Killing Games is advocating for a very popular position that's in line with existing consumer protection laws and is narrowly focused. So this isn't going to cripple the industry either. The industry is fighting this because they'll fight anything that requires them to do something. Stop Killing Games is about as safe and popular as it gets in politics.
If we keep it simple and just focused on the whole core aspect of the game. Now, he's only focused on that. The nuances will have to be worked out by the politicians if they do try to put it into law. Now, Europe's already made some pro-consumer moves by doing things to gacha games and games that attempt to make you roll a randomizer in order to get an item by paying them money. They call it illegal gambling. So they have passed bills like that. They have done things like that. The possibility of this getting passed is fairly high in the EU because most EU nations are very highly progressive. So it wouldn't shock me if they were. I guess the best part about the whole thing is whether or not they can get over the hill of working out the nuances. Because I can already tell you right off the top of my head, there's a lot of subtle nuances to it. Because games think because they're being asked to archive an end-of-life plan and archive the game, that they're going to have to maintain it. And like I said, there's subtle nuances to this. Does the company have to maintain it? Will the government have to maintain it? Who would have to maintain the game? Now, the government in most countries, they have large data archives where they protect history. They protect human history and other history. I mean, there's a freaking underground base in, I'm not sure if it's Antarctica or in another part of the world, but set up by multiple nations across the world, that in the event of a apocalypse, there is seeds of plants located down in that area in order to reseed the planet. A way of rekindling life. So, I mean, governments do this kind of stuff where they're willing to archive or preserve certain things because they believe it's important. How important is an electronic video game to the government? Well, I don't know. We'll have to find out.
And as a bonus, it's appealing to people who might not normally be involved in politics. That's an elusive demographic. And now's a good time to mention again that contacting members of European Parliament on the Internal Market and Consumer Protection Committee is probably the best thing we can do to push back. Though I've received conflicting information on which parties to contact and what subject lines to use. If you want to help, just try your best with contacting a representative of your country, preferably someone who cares about consumer rights. Okay, that's it. I have no idea what's coming down the pipeline now, but all this resistance means we are throwing around some real power to fix things. So let's keep at it. Hey!
I mean, let's be real. Companies are multi-billion dollars now. The idea that they can't maintain it just goes to show me that the entire thing is just broken because they don't want to take the effort to do it. They just want to keep throwing things under the bus and act like they don't exist. Because if it's not for the betterment of the richest people who are at the top getting all the money, then it's not for the benefit of the consumer. And that's a weird logic to live by. Hey there everyone, if you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe and comment down below. Thanks again.